from the Lord. And as we look at the prophets, sometimes we read and we get caught up in all the symbolism and everything that's there. But Daniel is telling us something here about the goodness of the Lord. And I just want us to take a moment to look at it, to parse it a little bit, to think about it, and hopefully take away with us a word that will stay on our hearts. Amen. I want to use as the subject verses 13 and 14. And they say as thus: I saw in the night visions and beheld one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that shall not be destroyed. Amen. Amen. So I want to use as a subject this afternoon, thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Amen. Pray with me, please. Father God, in the matchless name of Jesus the Christ, we thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you, Lord, for all that are here. I ask, God, that you would prepare us now to hear your word. I ask, dear God, that you would prepare me now to speak your word. God, that everything that comes from me may be yours. I ask, God, that you would bless the hearers, Father, that they may be blessed. They may walk out of here refreshed with a brand new word. I ask, God, that you forgive me for my sins, that you strengthen me in all that I am and all that I have, God, so that I can be used by you. God, I surrender all that I am. And God, I ask, God, that you would speak to us. Speak to us, Lord, as only you can. In the name of Jesus Christ, we say amen, amen, and amen. Praise the Lord. I'm often amazed by why and how God does things. And I think sometimes that we often miss the things that God speaks to us through life. I wasn't quite sure why God wanted me to preach this sermon until I got here today. And we heard that Sister Jerry's mother passed away. And I began to think about those words: thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. I began to realize that God has a word for us today as we pray for Sister Jerry, and realize that our loved ones pass and they go on, and we shall have that same destiny. We shall at some point give up these bodies and go on. But the thing that I want to tell you about today, that no matter where we are in the scheme of our life, God is still in control. And so as we think about this word, thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, I want you to think on those things, because God is in charge. He is in control. He is God of all. He made us. He knows us. And his time is the time that we must acknowledge, we must respect, and we must worship. Amen. It is God's time. It is his purpose. And it is his will. Amen. In the word of God, in Matthew chapter 6, God gives us a wonderful prayer. Jesus actually gives us a wonderful prayer that we call our Lord's Prayer. And as we sometimes recite that prayer, we may miss the jewels that are in there. So just for a moment, I want to go through and recite the Lord's Prayer, because I want you to think about it. Sometimes when I say my prayers, I go through this prayer and I get through it, and I don't stop to look at the words and look at the phrases and look at what they mean. But I know I'm supposed to do it, so I do it and I say it. But this is what I want you to understand. We need to stop for a moment and parse those words as we pray them, and understand that Jesus gave us each one of those words for a reason. And the Lord's Prayer goes like this: Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen? Amen. Word of God. Jesus wanted us to understand some things in this word because he wants us to always have these words on our heart. That when the Lord, when these words are spoken and we think of Jesus and God being the kingdom, we understand that that is a reference to his authority, his sovereignty, and his rule. That God is God of all, that he made all. And because he is the God of all, he has not only the authority, but he has the prerogative to do with us as he will. So therefore, we must always recognize and understand that God gives us life for a reason, that he takes us through life for a reason, that he allows us to go through adversity for a reason, that he gives us victories for a reason, that he stands us up when we don't feel like standing up for a reason, that he allows us to suffer some things so we can get to the place where we can appreciate his power and his glory to overcome everything, not only in this life, but beyond. So God has given us not only the prayer, but his word to teach us that he wants us to always recognize that he is in control. And when we forget that, when we think that we want to have it our way, we misunderstand what God is saying in his word. That every day that he gives us is a brand new mercy. And we ought to recognize it so that we got something to shout about every day that when our feet hit the floor, because we understand that God has given us breath and life and the ability to live once again. Amen. That God is telling us that when it is his will that is dominant, it is his will that has precedence and preeminence. Daniel, in this wonderful word, tells us certain things, but before we get there, I want you to look at your outline, because I want you to look at what we just when I said the Lord's Prayer, there's certain things that we ask him there. So under item 1, there are 6 things that I want you to see. We pray that we would live and bring honor to God's name. That's the first thing. So when we say, hallowed be thy name, we're giving God his due. We're worshiping God in our prayer. We're letting him know how much we love him. And so we begin by worshiping the name of God the Father. Yeah. And we start the prayer and this is the way we start our prayer, because we understand that we have to give God the glory so that he can give us all that he gives to us. The next thing is that our lives would be God's kingdom. Listen to this. Our lives would be God's kingdom where God is present and he rules. What I'm saying to you is that God's kingdom lives in us. We are the kingdom of God. We are the people of God. And because we are the people of God and the kingdom of God, that his kingdom is alive in us. And because his kingdom is alive in us, we should always be ready and able to do his will on earth. That means that we obey his commandments. We study his word. We worship him. We praise him. We pray. We pray to him, and we give him the glory, because God expects that of us, because we are his people and we are his kingdom. Amen. Amen. And so this is what we must remember, is that we are the kingdom of God. The next thing is God's will be done in and through us. God's will be done in and through us. That means the things that are not of God will be purged from us, because we don't need them anymore. All the sin, all the wrong, all the lying, all the cheating, all the bad mouthing, all the things that are wrong in us, we need to get rid of, because they are not of God. And so God's kingdom is present and his will is present in us, because we begin to move out all the other stuff that we don't need. And God is telling us that's the reason why we come to church. That's the reason why we study his word. That's the reason why we praise him. That's the reason why we submit to him, so that his will can be done in and through us. Yeah. Therefore, we live our lives studying his word and obeying his word. Yeah. The next thing it tells us that God will provide for us by giving us our daily bread. Amen? All that God can do is give us our daily bread. He can't give us bread for tomorrow or bread from yesterday. He gives us bread today because that's what we need right here and right now. Our provision is daily. Our joy is daily. Our peace is daily. But God provides for us on a daily basis. And that's why the word says, give us this day our daily bread. And not only that, we need to understand that that's not only, as Deacon Gory talked about today, it's not only the physical food, but it's the spiritual food as well. God blesses us every day and feeds us every day with the nourishment for our bodies and the nourishment for our spirit. Amen. The next thing is we pray that God would forgive us and give us the will and the ability to forgive others. Amen. Sometimes we hold on to stuff that we don't need. Amen. We don't want to forgive people because they just made us so mad that we just need to hold on to that thing forever. But forgiveness is one of the blessings in the Bible because it allows us to live in peace. I can remember when I was a young man and people did something to me and I said, I'm going to get it back. And I set out to plan and do everything I could to hurt somebody because they did me wrong. And I remember when my plan succeeded, that it also involved somebody else. So that not only was I hurting the person that hurt me, but I was also hurting somebody in his family. And God showed me, why in the world would you do that? Why in the world would you spend so much time trying to hurt somebody when your life blessed you through your life all of this time, and all you want to do is go out and hurt somebody? Why in the world, Oliver, would you want to do that in this life? Yeah. And he reminded me, I don't need to get revenge on anybody. You can call me what you want, you can say what you want, you can do some dirt to me, but listen, I understand that my God is a provider, and he's got me no matter what. So no matter what a human being says to me or calls me or tries to do to me, I know that my God is still on the throne. And because my God is still on the throne, and because I belong to him, I don't have to worry about any man or any person. Because my God is an awesome God. Amen? Amen. So I'm thankful today that he allows me to be forgiven for my sins, and that he allows me to forgive others for theirs. The end result is that God gives you peace. Amen? Amen. Finally, God will protect us from temptation and the forces of evil. Listen, this is very important. You don't highlight anything else. Highlight this. God protects us from temptation and the forces of evil. And this we need to understand, because evil is present right here, right now, everywhere we go. Whatever we do, we will run into evil because it is everywhere. And this is the thing we need to know. Because it is everywhere, we need to be prayed up. We need to be ready. We need to know how to face evil. And we need to know most of all, that we are overcomers. That evil has no victory over you and I, because we belong to God. Anything that we said that in the song, anything that God blesses, nothing can curse. Amen? So if you know that you're blessed, don't worry about the evil in the world. Don't worry about the people in the world. Understand that God will bless you no matter what. Amen? But there are some requirements for us. You see, we can't play with God and tell him that we belong to him and then still belong to the world. The Bible says God doesn't appreciate that at all. That if you're on the fence, he will spew you out like vomit. Sometimes we think that we can go and do our worldly stuff and then come to church on Sunday and act holier than thou. When God says, I know you better than you know yourself. I know you're down sitting and you're uprising. I know what you're doing wrong. I know what you do in the light and what you do in the dark. If nobody else knows, God knows. And sometimes we think we can hide and run and do things behind closed doors that nobody will see. But evil is evil, and evil will expose itself because it's that kind of spirit. And I want you to understand this. God is not mocked by us. When we come in here to church and say that I belong to you, and go out into the world and we still belong to the world, God is the only one that knows exactly where your heart is. Amen? You can't fool God. None of us can. And so here in Daniel, we read the story of this tremendous vision that God gave to Daniel. And listen, I'm going to tell you, Daniel did not want this vision. In verse 15 of chapter 7, he said, this vision that you gave, Lord, disturbs me, God. I mean, you showed me some things that I really don't want to see. But God began to show Daniel some things that he wanted him to know about history, and about the world, and about prophecy that we need to understand. So I want you to look at your outlines because I want you to get this. There are several things that God showed to Daniel. I'm down in verse 10. I'm going to come back up and pick up on some things first. But I want to tell you this. In chapter 7, the Lord showed him 4 great powers. The first was a lion with wings of an eagle. The second was a bear that had ribs in his mouth. The third was a leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads. And the final one he could not even describe. Amen. That's in Isaiah 14. He couldn't even describe this beast. All he said is that he had iron teeth and that he just stepped on and beat up and devoured everything in his path. So in essence, what the Lord was giving to Daniel was certain kingdoms that were present. The kingdom of Babylon, the kingdom of Rome, and Alexander the Great, and the 4 kingdoms that followed him. And it told him that man can be evil, that leaders can be evil, they can destroy and tear down, and they can take people, like in our Sunday school lesson, and hold them captive and take them away from their homeland and destroy them mentally, because that's what men do to men. But in our Lord's Prayer, he tells us that we are overcomers, that we're praying that God would deliver us from evil, and the Word tells us that he will do that if we would just trust in him. Yeah. So what I'm telling you today is that when we pray the Lord's Prayer, and we say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, and then we say, thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, we are recognizing that we are assigning ourselves to the power of God by allowing God to use us and protect us and guide us and deliver us. Yeah. So when we say, thine is the kingdom, it is our confidence. When we say thine is the power and the glory, we're saying that God is going to protect us from all adversity and all wrong and deliver us from all evil, because he promised in his word. So now I want to take you back up just a little bit from where I started. Item 7 says this. This glorious vision leads us, and this is the vision in the word of God, that for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Under item 7, it says our certainty in troubled times. That by saying thine is the kingdom, that is our certainty. The second one says that it is our confidence in our living right now. And the third one is key. It says that for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory is our hope in overcoming evil in this world. Yeah. So it says it is our confidence. It is, our certainty, our confidence, and our hope that God is still on the throne. And so I'm telling you that even when we see something as awesome as this verse is telling us, but all of these beasts that are coming, that have come and shall come. Listen, history repeats itself. And we have leaders all over the world who some good, some bad. And as long as we have human beings, we'll have leaders that are good and that are bad. And we need to understand that just the way it is. What God is saying, in the midst of all of that turmoil, that we have the confidence to understand that everything is going to be all right. Listen, Daniel was saying this because Daniel was a part of a group that was taken and he was given over to the enemy for a time. And the enemy wants to destroy you when they try to tear down everything that you believe. And so right now in today's society, the world is trying to tear down everything that we believe. And so we even look at the news and we hear stuff about fake news and all this other craziness that's going on. And people are trying to make the truth out of lies and calling them something else. And I'm telling you, God is saying we need to be watchful and careful because we need to understand that history repeats itself. And when we think that everything is hunky-dory, we just keep living our lives, we need to know that we need to pray and understand that as long as we trust in our God, there is no man that can overcome us, that can beat us down, that can control us, because we belong to God. And this is the message in Daniel. He's saying that, oh my God, this disturbed me, God, when you gave me this vision about all of these mighty and brutal animals who were just there to tear things up and destroy the world and to tear people down. But I want you to know, God, that in spite of all of this, thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, because you tell me in your word that you are in control of all of this. In spite of what I see, in spite of what I'm going through, God, you have the power to change everything. Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, because our God is God and God of all. So I want you to understand this. When we have adversity in life, don't shrink, don't fall down, don't give in, because God wants you to know that he has everything under control. Listen, even when we lose our loved ones, and I know if you are like I am, when I lost my mama, I thought everything was over. But God said this: what did your mother teach you? All of these years, dragging me and my family and brothers and sisters back and forth to church, what did your mother teach you? When she had to go and clean other people's houses so that she could make ends meet, what did your mother teach you? When she had to deal with my father during his rough days, that God asked me, what did your mother teach you about surviving, about trusting in God, about holding on to what the word says? And everything that she lived out in her life showed me that God is still on the throne. And even the things that seemed to oppress her down all came to lay down at her feet. So that all the things that were wrong, the things that no school, my mother stopped in the 4th grade. Somebody said that today. Our parents had to work on the farms. So they couldn't go to school like they wanted to. They had to get out and work because, and many people had kids so they could go to work, let's face it. But the bottom line is, in spite of the fact that growing up my mother couldn't read, she overcame that. In spite of the fact that she was afraid to become a preacher because she didn't think she could comprehend. But God made her a flame of fire. In spite of the fact that my father was a rolling stone for a time, he sat down at the kitchen table one time and asked his wife, baby, what do I have to do to give my life to the Lord? And there she looked at her husband who had been something other than the best husband and father. But there he was saying, I want to change right now in the name of Jesus. Tell me what I need to do. I'm telling you, when you trust in the Lord, he will change. He will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. He will allow you to understand that it's not over. He will allow you to understand that he has not forgotten you and that he is still on the throne.
Thank you, Lord.
Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. When you know that in your heart, when you trust in the Lord beyond anything, and know that nothing in this world can destroy you because you belong to God. Only thing you can say, thine, oh God, is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. And then at the end of it all, at the end of our prayer, there is a wonderful word. And we say it all the time and may not truly understand what it means. But after we've said all that the Lord has given us in his word, we say amen. And amen means what? It means yes. So that when we say our prayer and ask God to do all of these things, to give us food and water and clothing, to deliver us from temptation, to deliver us from evil, when we lift up the name of the Lord and give him glory, when we say, Lord, forgive me so that I may forgive others, we understand to say yes, Lord, because we know that what that means is that we accept, we give him the glory, we give him the honor, and we worship him because we know that our God is a God of power and a God of peace and a God of joy and a God of love. In the end of it all, we say thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, because we know that our God is an awesome God.
Awesome God.
He is an awesome God. I want you to know today that we can't rest on our Lord. We can't stop where we are. Sometimes we think we know all we need to know and we've done all we need to do. And it doesn't matter whether we get weary and well doing. God wants us to know that I'm not through with you yet. There's more that you have to do. I'm not through with you yet. I saw a movie yesterday, and it was called Hacksaw Ridge. I don't know if anybody has seen that. It's a story about a man who was a believer in the Lord. And he went, true story, he went to the military and he said, you know what? I can't carry a gun. I can't use a gun. So at first they called him a coward and they put him on trial and they told him that you don't want to carry a gun when everybody else got to carry a gun. You're going to let your people down on the field? And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. He said, I want to be a medic, so instead of taking lives, I want to save lives. And the story goes on that they put him on Hacksaw Ridge, which was one of the worst places they could go. And the Japanese kept coming at him in waves, and they kept killing people and blowing up people. And he was taking the people and letting them down from a mountain on a rope. And when everybody else got down, he stayed up by himself. And he was looking around for people that were wounded. And he said, Lord, what do you want me to do? And he held on to his Bible. And the Lord said, go get somebody else. And he went and got somebody else and pulled him and let him down on the rope. And his hands were bleeding. And he said, Lord, I can't do no more. What do you want me to do? I'm tired. He said, I want you to go and get somebody else. So he went and got somebody else and put him on the rope and let him down off the mountain. And he let about 30, 40 people down off the mountain. His hands were raw. And he ended up getting part of his leg blown off. But he did what God told him to do because that was his destiny and mission in life. And he did it according to God's word. Listen, I'm telling you, if God wants you to do something, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how hard it is. Go do it. And at the end, we will say yes and amen. Yeah. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. So when we think we can't, God says, yes, you can. When we think that we're through and we're wounded and we're broken, God says that there's more work for you to do. So what I'm saying to you is when you believe that Jesus is Lord and that God and Jesus both are the kingdom and the power and the glory, you realize that when God gives you something to do, we do it with gladness. We serve with gladness because God is the kingdom and the power and the glory. And in spite of our feeble self, God will make a way out of no way. God will make a way out of no way. If you believe that God is the kingdom and the power and the glory, give him some praise here today. Thank you, Lord, for being the kingdom and the power and the glory, my Lord and my Savior, my Redeemer. I thank you, God, for delivering me out of all of my sins. What a wonderful, awesome God we serve. I'm standing here today as a witness for the Lord. I am nothing without God. But with him, that there is nothing that I believe that I cannot do. If God says, go do it. I give you the glory, Father. I praise your holy name. I worship you, God, with everything I have. Because I belong to you. I am your kingdom, God. We are your kingdom, God. We are your people, God. Show us, God, what you want us to do. Let us live our lives the way your word says and the way you guide us by your loving Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. Pray with me, please. Father God, we thank you, Lord, today. Right here, right now, God, I thank you. Oh God, because you are God of all. You are our great creator, our great Father. You've allowed us, God, in our history, Father, to experience this wonderful, tremendous paradigm shift. That we went from being wretched world, feeble world, sinful world. And you moved us, God, into the age of grace by the power of your Son, Jesus. And in Jesus we have love, and we have forgiveness, and we have strength to do all that we need to do. In Jesus we have perseverance no matter what. So I'm thanking you, God, today, because you are a God of mercy and a God of joy and a God of strength. Oh God, I worship you for allowing us to see another day. I thank you, God, for blessing our families and giving us what we need. I thank you, God, for blessing our children, God, and taking care of them, Lord. I thank you, God, for being an awesome, beautiful, wonderful God. And God, I just want you to know that with all of my heart, and with all of my mind, and with all of my strength, I worship you, God. I thank you, God, for these your people. I ask, God, that you would bless them today to understand that when they say the Lord's Prayer and they come down to the end and say, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, that they understand that you are a God all by yourself, that you are a God of power, a God of goodness, and a God of love. Help us, God, to worship you daily, every day, knowing, God, that you are with us wherever we go. I thank you, God, for your word. I thank you for the prophecy in Daniel. And I thank you for the revelation in your word. Father God, I ask you to bless us now. If you brought someone in here that does not know you in the parting of their sins, let them know, God, that this is the time, this is the place. You brought them here for a reason, and that tomorrow is not promised to us. But we need to understand that when we leave this place, if we don't know where we're going, we need to give our lives to you right here, right now. Right here and right now. So, Father, if you have brought someone in here